Right now we got a speciality for ya.
The man like the fades absolutely wicked and wild.
Right now we got a speciality for ya.
The man like the fades absolutely wicked and wild.
Oh. Ready?
We are right now out here in Stuttgart and we want to trick line through the whole city. We've chosen some really cool spots and we'll see what's possible. Stuttgart is perfect, like there's so many places where you can go and the police is really friendly.
In Stuttgart it's a good opportunity for trick line in the streets.
I like actually doing things over like at spots where there's no mats, because the outcome, the shot or the footage is like so rewarding that I'm happy to also try maybe scary stuff. Watching Nikolai, first of all, is insane. Like I really enjoyed time with him, and then he really brings in like kind of a parkour breakdance style and mixes everything together. He's really spontaneous and suddenly he will just like bring out the craziest shit.
I'm doing mix parkour tricks, breakdance. It's a trick line freestyle.
Looking deep into my mirror, let the thoughts revolve like we in orbit on the dark side of the moon. I can't ignore it, the second coming probably soon. Every day as I lay, get in tune with the boom. The pain relief is too cruel. Trapped inside of my room, but my mind go free so the galaxy bloom. Like my mama told me, pray the greatest to Jews. Picture me rolling, now I'm holding, take control of the script. Off my back, spread my wings, my spirit can live.
Yeah, I think it's just, you need to trust in your abilities somehow. You're thinking about all the things that can go wrong, and if you can somehow deal with all of those, you kind of know what you can do and what you can't. So I trust my body to do also things over concrete.
Our voice ring in the emptiness, the helpless moan of wings that will never spread. My song brings the evidence, allowing me to sing what was never said. Parents look down on the pigeons who comb the streets for old trash to eat. But my head's up, I strut through this bitch, cause my beak doesn't repeat my master's speech. My feather colors of your scholar's ink pen. They're how the natives decorate their big men. I represent strength and wisdom, and even you can see freedom ring when my wings spread. What is it about you that you have to capture? That which you cannot master. If you can't grasp it, you attack it, trap it, slam it in a cage and latch it. Every day that you hold me in bars is another day I can't teach your soul to soar. Here both of us are linked to the song, and when you hear a caged bird, sing along, sing along, sing along.
Searching for a better world. This ain't no game. This is not a game.
Sing along, sing along.
Searching for a better world. This ain't no game. This is not a game.
Sing along, sing along, sing along.
Searching for a better world. This ain't no game. This is not a game.
I fucked up my wrist a little bit, not too nice, but apart from that, because it's not too bad. It's like it just happened, and yeah. Trick lining is safe. Nothing's gonna happen to you. Everything will be fine.
Searching for a better world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, change. Change.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
So we're in Zion in Utah, in one of the most beautiful places I've ever highlined. And it's been super sick highlining with Delaney and Amanda, dressing in cute outfits and just having a great time supporting each other.
It is too much fun with these girls. The amount of support and love that is pouring from both of their hearts is unbelievable. And I feel like I can do anything when I'm with Amanda and Taylor.
I like to dance.
Sometimes you're nervous, and so like getting the dancing out just helps you work through the nerves. I'm able to get those negative thoughts away and like physically push them away, and so it just feels good to dance.
On Friday night I like to dance. I dance, 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 and dance. On Friday night I like to dance. So I dance. And
For me, freestyle highlining is a really fun way to express my style and who I am. So of course you want to dress in cute outfits because that's also part of style and part of me, and it's an eye-catching sport as it is. So why not dress in a ridiculous outfit that is like even more eye-catching?
I think it's easy to say look good, feel good, perform good.
And I dance. On Friday night I like to dance.
I can watch dudes do crazy stuff all day long, but as soon as I see a lady do it, I'm like, I can do that.
So I dance. And I dance. On Friday night I like to dance.
I feel like I've always been surrounded by a lot of really strong men. So to be with like two badass women who are just out here to try really hard and have a good time, it's super special.
I got into freestyle highlining because I saw other women doing badass things. It was super inspiring to see people who looked like me do things that I didn't even think were possible.
Makes me feel grand. So I dance. And I dance. On Friday night I like to dance.
Amanda is one of the coolest people I've ever seen on the line, and her style is just awesome. Like, you can tell by the way she freestyles that she's having such a good time.
On Friday night I like to dance.
I think Delaney's super cool. She's very like, she can be really flowy at times, but then she also is super badass. Like, she'll just throw herself into tricks. The way she does the back flop to me is super scary, and she's just like, she just goes for it. I'm like, what?
I dance, 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 and dance. And dancing makes me feel grand. So I dance, and I dance.
Taylor, oh my gosh, I call her Highline Barbie because she looks like a Barbie doll, but my goodness, that girl goes hard.
When she wants to land something, you know she's gonna land it.
I obviously love shoulder tricks. I like to spend some time on my shoulders. And I guess somehow the leash was in the way of my neck when I was falling. I don't really know.
That we like to dance.
But it kind of felt like I got punched in the throat and then sliced.
And dance.
Oh man, when I saw that slash on Taylor's neck, I thought for sure she was gonna get off the line, and she just kept going until she landed the combo she was trying. I think that there are women right now who want to train hard and want to close this gap between men and women.
I'd like to see a day where women are on the same level as men. I feel like that happened in climbing, where women at first didn't have as much opportunity or necessarily as much representation in the sport. I think freestyle is kind of still there. There's a lot more men doing it than women. But just like climbing, I think women can eventually start to kind of get onto the same level as men. Hopefully, we'll kind of even out the playing field a little bit.
Yes!
Hi, my name is Benoit Broom. Hi, my name... That's gonna take a long time. I started slacklining like 10 years ago, and I quickly went to highline for safety reasons. So yeah, basically I fell on my foot, and the Achilles bone, the big one that holds the foot, was completely broken. It was like a crunch ice from a cocktail. So yeah, after this injury, it took me 1 year to recover completely and be able to walk normally. But still I can't run on the ground because it like quickly gets painful. And the thing is, on a highline, like actually I can run because like the ground is soft and there is no big impact. So I guess it's a good thing. I can't run on the ground, but I run in the sky. And I think like speedline is a way of improving yourself, and because you measure, you know exactly. It's not like, oh, today I felt good. It's like, yeah, today I actually were better than before. And when you start to time yourself, it's addictive. Like, okay, how much better can I go? Yeah, I also want to just go for speedy session because it brings some cardio. It becomes a sport, like for real. And like at the beginning, I would be running on the line and like going out like super proud. Oh yeah, I made only 30 seconds to cross the line. Oh, super happy. And people are like, dude, you're going too fast. You're not taking the time to enjoy and to look at the landscape. And we're like, I'm enjoying. Let me do my thing, you know. I can watch the landscape as much as I want from the cliff.
In my head, when I'm watching Benoit speedlining, I really feel like he's flying for sure. Like, he doesn't touch the line. It's just like pure movement, and he's pretty fast at it as well.
I get holes in my shoe usually, and if I don't wear the shoe, because you want to have better control on the line, so barefoot is always better, but then you will get holes in your foot. Yes, the technique to go fast. You want my secret tips, huh? First, you have to understand that the movement should not come from your feet, but from your hips. The whole body movement comes from the hips, and then the feet are following under you. Like, you should really have a smooth movement. Then you will try different techniques, like first make big steps, then make fast steps, and then make both together. aggressive running. Bruce Lee once said, "I don't fear the man that practiced 1,000 movements once, but I fear the man that practiced one movement 1,000 times." And the thing is, I'm a freestyler as well. I just know one trick, but I know it very well. The step. Most of the time, like at the beginning, people would be like, yeah, speedlining is like too much competitive, like slackline is not a thing that should enter in competition. It was also for a lot of people a way of life, you know, it's like not something that you want to compare to each other. But it's also cool just to allow yourself to make some progress and to compare yourself to others. And if you enter the competition with the same spirit, it's not about being the better, it's about mostly being better than yourself and improving.
最初は僕がトリックラインを始めて、まだリクトとタクシーちっちゃかったから、最初は公園で遊んでいるだけだったけど、そのうちリクトとタクシーにやらして、ここまでリクトとタクシーが成長することができています。
中村陸斗です。15歳です。日本に住んでいます。トリックラインをやっています。すごいいい環境でできるスペックっていうのがあんまり身近になくて、でその練習場がなかったら、そうですね、そこのワールドチャンピオンっていうのはなかったと思います。
最初リクトの方が先に始めてやってて、どんどん成長していったけど、タクシーはそれを見てて、僕はもうそういうトリックラインはできるんだって思って始めてるから、それを見てどんどん上手くなって、でもタクシーが上手くなったらリクトもやらないとって言って、こうやってどんどん2人で。
中村拓司です。トリックラインをやっています。僕は12歳です。
タクシーはできてて俺ができないって技もあるので、そういうのをお互いに教え合いながら楽しみつつ一生懸命頑張ってます。持ってる技は俺より上手いんですけど、そのコンボっていう面では多分俺が12歳の時の方が上手いんじゃないかなと思います。
リクトはもう常に真面目で、すごい技をみんなに見せたいっていうのがモチベーションで、どんどん新しいトリックをやっていくような。タクシーはいつもヘラヘラヘラヘラ。
僕は魚をやります。フィッシュ。
真央がうちの、スラックライン上で始めたのが4年前かな。
私は武部真央です。18歳です。トリックラインをやっています。女子にはない高いスタイルで、男子に似たようなスタイルでやってます。 チェストフィアレスのグラブ、自分のお気に入りです。
真央ちゃんはすごい高いモチベーションを持ってるから、もうそれに引っ張られてリクともタクシも
ほとんど中村兄弟でやってます。いろいろ教えてもらったり一緒に成長できるので楽しいです。
みんな上手くなって俺だけ置いてかれた
とても楽しい仲間たちで、お互いの技術をそうですね、磨き合ってどんどん日本強くなってるんじゃないかなと思います。
この世界一位を維持しつつ、男子の中でも上位に入れるような選手になりたいです。
リクともタクシーも、今トリックラインやってるけど、もう他のことをやりたくても、それを応援するし、
世界チャンピオンそれも2回取ってるんですけど、いろんな大会に世界のいろんな大会にもっとたくさん出て自分のことをしてもらいたいです。
まず陸斗を超えて世界一になってパフォーマンスで船に乗りたいです。これからも応援よろしくお願いします。
I know that Alonzo's been getting after it in Yosemite, and I planned on coming down here. So I hit him up, and he said, "Oh well, we're doing this Hell Week thing. You could come." And here I am, and it's been a blast.
I was smelling my farts the whole time. It's called Hell Week because we go essentially non-stop, very little sleep, hard projects for a whole week straight.
I didn't really sleep. We were pushing ourselves. We were waking up at 2 a.m. We were waking up at 3 a.m. We were waking up. We were not going to sleep at all, and then just hiking all through the night. There's so many people have come before us, Yosemite being the place that slacklining was born, where climbers started balancing on chains and walking on stuff, and then someone did it on webbing, sort of accidentally. And then it started going up high.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In Yosemite, the exposure's all insane. You're looking at things like El Cap, you're looking at things like Yosemite Falls, you're looking at things like Half Dome, and you're above all of them. That's all like 3,000 plus feet to the valley floor. And the fact that we're highlining above all of those features, insane. I was actually born with 3 fingers on my hands, and I'm also missing a couple toes on my feet, so I like to make things up. If people told them that I was climbing Everest or that I jammed too hard and a finger crack or something, but I was born like this, and you know, I think something's wrong with me because I just pick sports that are just maladapted to the way my hands are. It's really cool when you finally realize it doesn't matter, you know, it's your own journey, and we don't even have to do rocket mounts. Like, who cares? Davis doesn't even like rocket mounts, so why should I?
The inspiration that I get from a place like this, it's the reason I slackline in the first place. It's the dials cranked as high as it goes. Of any lines you can rig in the world. 211, crank the dial, that's Yosemite's high lines. The Lost Arrow Spire, you go up the Falls Trail. Being able to see how much water is here. I've been coming here for 24 years and I've never ever seen this much water. It's just powerful, it's incredible. People say the term Mecca, and Lost Arrow Spire is our Mecca as slackliners within Yosemite. We go there because it's the origin, and that's the legend. It is the first place where it first happened.
The Lost Arrow Spire was the first line that was ever rigged, and it's really cool to be able to go back there and continue to create history, you know. And we bring enough gear to rig 3 lines and have about 15 people sesh. It's quite a special place to have 3 lines rigged to this just tiny point out in space. It's beautiful.
People say I think Isaac Newton said he stood on the shoulders of giants, and that's exactly what we're doing. Again, this is where slacklining, where highlining was born, so it's kind of like, in a bizarre way, what it's meant to be.
And I need more water before we start. Yeah. But I'm getting nervous. Are my hands okay? I don't know what to do with my hands. My name is Davis Hermes. Yeah, last summer I won the World Championships in Switzerland. It was super close. 2 rounds of mine, I think, really were super close, could have gone either way. The final was David and myself, which was honestly like a dream of mine, even if I was stoked just when we got to the final. I was so happy, just because one thing I did tell myself was I want to compete against David, and for 2 reasons. One, he's my teammate, And then, because he was the best, or is the best, he is one of the best freestylers out there, hands down.
I always wanted to meet and go freestyling together, and the first time we met was in the World Championship.
Close round. It's just how competition goes, unfortunately for David.
Yeah, it was nice, you know. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. This time was me losing. But it is how it is. He played better. You have to know when you lose and someone played better. And with Davis, that's been so easy because he's a super nice person, you know.
I developed a pretty good friendship with David after the fact. He was stoked on coming out here, and I was stoked on him coming out.
So I'm in Colorado, in Boulder, for filming and having fun and a freestyle trip.
Went hard, freestyled all the time, as much as we could. Had good laughs, shared friendship, yeah.
For me, style is something personal. Each one of us have one, and it doesn't have to be clean, you know. It has to be flowy, it has to be expressing yourself in little details.
The Gulch is significant in a lot of ways. Because it's so accessible, having a spot that is so accessible is just an absolute game changer. I have everything that I could need to succeed. Great friends and a spot to do it.
We push each other for sure, and you know, you have that fighting thing like, oh, he landed, I want to land it. But I think we keep it in a really nice way and friendly way. He's just so fucking funny. I'm like laughing all the time. It's impossible to be mad with this guy. I don't know, I just love him, you know.
We both laid down double almighties. It's huge. It's crazy that we both had those together just because it's such a massive trick. For a long time, I for sure was like, that's like tip top.
After landing the double almighty, I was like, wow, let's go for the triple, and I landed it.
It was so good. It was so good, I had no idea what happened. I pretty much just black out because it's just so sick. I went to Brazil to visit Rafa Bridi. Well, the big objective of going down there was to do a project with Rafa. As I got closer to going, we were brainstorming what could it be, and he's super famous for the hot air balloon stunt, and I was like, hey, can we do the hot air balloon? And I knew he had the connections, I knew he knew the people, and he's like, sure, let's do the hot air balloon. Early start, balloons take off at sunrise, so we have all of the gear together, we go to the hot air balloon spot, try and put the anchors together, and it's already really rushed. All sorts of stuff's happening that I've never seen. I've never even seen a hot air balloon like fill up before, let alone be in a basket when it takes off, and it's like these crazy jets that are just going. We get the line rigged, we tension it, and then the pilot is like, oh, like a little less tension. So we take it out of the web lock and the leash ring falls out. Oh, highliners. Take off and it's like 100 feet over the air. The sun's like just starting to rise and I'm like crying in tears. I'm like, this is gonna be so special. And then I look around at the line and I'm like, oh, the leash ring's not in there. So I had a wafer and a hangover because it's tighter than hand tension. So I needed to make some sort of pulley system, and I took the tail, tied it to an extra soft shackle that I had, pulled it enough so I could get it out of the web lock. And then I got it out of the web lock and I started letting the line out. So then I'm like this for the next like 30, 45 minutes, looking at the wafer and hangover, which are now out there. And no one spoke English, so no one could really help me. And the pin on the web lock we were using is not even circled. I only say that because then I like pulled it in as much as I could and I'm trying to get it in, and I get it in there and I'm like, showing someone how to put it in, and they're like not getting it in because it's not a circle, and I'm like, no S circular, no S circular.
I mean, personally, I was like, is he gonna pull this off? Like, I didn't, because I don't know really how that shit works, but what I was seeing, I could just see the fear in his eyes. Like, I could see how scared he was.
Then you can see my face just like pale as a ghost, like, this isn't gonna happen. So for that whole process, I was the thing that was keeping the balloons attached to each other, because the line pulls them closer, but the balloons up top pull them apart because they're pushing against each other. You could find moments where you could just inch webbing through the web lock, and I did all the way until the hangover and wafer came back to me. I don't know how that happened because I was like, no way, it was so far out. It was so far out. So I got it back, and then we were at our max altitude of the flight. And tied in, got on the line super quick. Was the most stressed I've ever been, for sure. Just because it was so many different emotions. And it was one of the more beautiful experiences I've ever had.
É preciso dar jeito, meu amigo. É preciso dar jeito, meu amigo. Descansar não adianta quando a gente se levanta. Quanta coisa aconteceu.
Yeah, cried like a little girl after I walked it. I called my mom instantly. FaceTimed her in the balloon. It's like 4 a.m. or something her time, and she answered because I knew she wasn't sleeping because she knew I was doing that. There's certain experiences that make you so grateful to be alive and thankful, and I really hope that other people can experience things like that in their life, because it's a really special thing and really unique thing, and being able to be alive is so awesome.
É preciso dar jeito, meu amigo. É preciso dar jeito, meu amigo. Descansar não adianta quando a gente se levanta. Quanta coisa aconteceu.
What makes slacklining fun? It's how open it is. Having basic building blocks of slacklines kind of allows for all these different fractals to go off into big lines, into speed lines, into freestyle, into trick lining, and people can really take it any direction they choose.
I think it's just exciting to see that so many, throughout the years, so many new disciplines kind of popped up in slacklining. You can choose whatever you want. You can learn it the way you want to learn it. So that's what I really like about slacklining. That's why I started to do slacklining in the first place.
Slacklining is such a diverse discipline that everybody can just create his own way of practice. And I have a lot of friends that do freestyle. I have some friends that are mostly into alpine mission. But we find a way to merge our passion together. I mean, it's still slacklining.
I'm not afraid to be alone, to be alone.
If you just keep putting yourself into the uncomfortable situation, it will slowly transform from uncomfortable to comfortable, and then eventually the best time ever.
Every girl dreams of a prince, and here you stand, the perfect man. I'll push you.
It's really nice. All of the competitors, we are in the top level. I think we have a pretty good relationship, and I think it's a good goal for any sport. You know, we are all friends and really not fake friends, but real friends. You know.
Because slacklining is so open and there are so many different disciplines to kind of choose from, I'd say choose them all. Try everything, you know? There are a lot of focused parts of the sport where you can send lines and you can crush tricks, but you can also just make funny sounds, smile your heart out, and just enjoy it all.
We've all got responsibilities at the end of the day. We've all got to work. We've all got to make money. We've all got to do things. But when we're out here doing the things that we love to do, let's love doing them, you know? Don't do things that stress you out. Do things that are fun. And make sure you're enjoying the process.
I'd say the coolest part of slacklining is really you're in charge of your experience and you can do it however you want. There are no rules. Do not let other people give you rules. And really what it's about is having fun and seeing what we're all capable of. Because we don't know until we try. Don't forget to surf. I feel like there's no surf section, but that's fine. Check your leash twice. Put a cup on. Wear protection.
Yeah, I don't know what that must have been like. Kind of an odd surprise. Why are these balloons attached to each other? And then oh, this man is gonna walk on this balloon. And
if you get confused, your lefts and rights, you can have a right leg and a left leg, and so you can tell which way to spin.
Too young, I guess
Taft has got some significance. Also where the first butt plug solo took place, Ryan Jenks.
I've got some eyes under these glasses, but these ones are always watching. So I go blindfolded, these guys got my back, I turn it backwards, I got eyes in the back of my head. They kind of just let you know that I'm here to have fun and I'm not taking this too seriously.
Heather, my girlfriend, says that it's my worst quality when I scream on the high line. It's my most unattractive quality, but it's actually, to me, like one of my most attractive qualities. Just because it's like me, like, I'm gonna bang this out.
Do you guys know what a fish said when he ran into a wall? Damn.
Do something with bad girls, bad bitches. I can't say bitches. Can I? Okay, like, I'm not Disney.
I'd say my hat is about mid-phase. So it started orange and now is yellow, but you can see little bits of white kind of creating. So the hat will turn totally white from sun and sweat and sessions. And so you got a hat, it's gonna turn white after a long enough time.
I guess I'm gonna die too young.